Welcome to my review of Duskers. So I recently picked up this game on Steam years after it was released, and in this review I want to talk about a couple of things. So first off, I want to talk about whether it's worth your time and worth your money at the full price point. Then I want to get into what sort of genre this is, other games like this, and whether this is something that you will enjoy, because this is definitely a particular type of game for a particular type of person. Next, I want to get into how bad the horror is. I know some people can be put off by that, and I want to talk about whether it's something that should put you off from this game or whether you should play it anyway. And finally, I want to talk about the most important part in terms of what makes this game unique. In terms of time, this is really a game that you can spend as much or as little time as you want to, and you'll still get a lot from it. So because it is a roguelike and because it does randomize every start, it means that there's a lot of replay value here, and you can potentially infinitely replay this game if you wanted to do that, but you don't have to do that to get something from the game. It is really interesting even to play for short stretches. And what I really appreciated about it is because every run you can kind of do one or two or three derelicts and then just quit the game and easily pick up back where you left off. That makes it really appropriate for somebody that is quite busy and you just want to spend 20 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe an hour exploring a couple of derelicts. And the next time you get back into the game, you can just quickly check what's the status of your ship, what's the status of the various drones that you have, and set up and continue from there. So definitely from a time perspective, you are going to find what you're looking for here. With regard to the price point, this game sells for $20 on Steam. It does go on sale sometimes for 50% off, so that would be around $10. But honestly, there is a lot here, a lot more than meets the eye. And even at the full price of $20, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. If you're not sure about the genre, you're not sure if this is your style of game, do put it on your wish list. I think on sale, it is an absolute no-brainer, and it is definitely worth your money. It's very difficult to tell for sure whether this game is going to be for you, but I did compile a small list of other games that is sort of like this. But what I will say is that this is kind of a genre on its own. Other games like this would include anything else where you're basically sitting behind a terminal and you have to solve problems. So this includes games like Objects in Space, Naughty Crawl, which I recently played, Quadrilateral Cowboy, Event Zero, and Hacknet. But as I said, none of these games are exactly like Duskers. It is a little bit unique, and that is one of the reasons why I think you should play it. So if you've played any of these other games, there's a good chance that you're probably going to like Duskers as well. Duskers is often talked about as a horror game, and I know that the horror genre isn't for everybody. But what I will say is that this is not very intense in terms of the horror, or at least I don't think horror is the right word. It's more about the tension that builds in the game and the sort of connection that you get to your drones, the sounds that you hear, video feeds going out, and the concern that you might have about what's going to be in the next room. There are cases where aliens might come at your drone quite quickly, and yes, that can be intense, but it's definitely not in a jump scare sort of way. It's definitely not done in a cheap way. There's nothing visually upsetting within the game, so if you generally don't like this sort of thing, this is not going to put you off within Duskers. It is difficult to draw parallels because, as I said, this game is kind of a genre onto its own. But the best example I can think of, if you think about a game like XCOM and playing that in Iron Man mode, where if you see an enemy taking a shot at one of your soldiers, you could be genuinely concerned that you're going to lose that soldier because of the implications. And the tension in this game is the same as that. It is a roguelike, which means that you are concerned about the drones, keeping them alive, and when you hear these sounds and things happening in the ship, that's where the tension comes from. And I think that is what people refer to when they refer to this as a horror genre, because it does get really immersive. That's the same thing that makes it such a fun game to play. And this brings me on to the final point, because I think Duskers, more than a lot of other games, shows why you don't necessarily need runaway budgets with incredible graphics and sound for a game to be really immersive, because honestly, this is one of the most immersive games that I've ever played. I think that the way that they handle this idea of you being somebody sitting in space behind a terminal, commanding these drones to explore derelict spaceships, and you have to fully rely on the audio and the video feeds coming from these drones, the game sells that incredibly well. And when you get these little glitches, such as a video feed cutting or a strange noise that you're hearing, you don't know, is that just a glitch in the drone? Is this a mistake or an error that's just going to get fixed shortly? Or is that some hostile creature somewhere that's going to come at the drones? You just don't know that for sure. And the more you play the game, the more you see these sorts of events, you see how deep and complex the game is, and it does really pull you in. So if you want to see more Duskers gameplay, I did do a Let's Play series on it, and you can find the playlist on this channel. Also, if you have played the game, I would love to hear from you. Do comment and tell me what you thought of the game. If you've played other games like this, please tell me what they are. I am really looking for other games like Duskers because I do like this genre, and I'm looking for other experiences like this. And then, of course, if you like this kind of content, please do like and subscribe for other videos like this, and I'll see you for the next video.